It's not going to automatically click live though until you do it though, right? Oh, we
Yeah,
live.
I just clicked it. That's why I just clicked it. I just clicked it. Hey, yeah. Clap it up. Clap it up for yourself. That's how we're gonna do it. Clap it up for
Mm-hmm.
yourselves. Clap it up for yourself. It's your boy, it's only right. With my co-host, Samantha Lavelle. You know what I'm saying? You are now tuned into the Let's Get Activated podcast with our
Yes.
special guest from Harlem, smart guy. Give him 2 seconds. He made to make a move, get some water, get rehydrated.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get into that, I just want to get a quick. You know what? I'm gonna let you do it, Sam, because you got a better feeling with that.
Yeah, so we know we just experienced another devastating loss in hip hop. I'm kind of taking that one kind of personally, but we just lost the late great Prince Marky D of the legendary Fat Boy. So I was just received this information a half hour ago before we went on live. So just want to say, rest in peace to him. This is a very devastating loss in hip hop. They were very, Fat Boys, they were very influential, in the things they did. And they did pave the way for a lot of people just to come out there and be confident. And, this is hip hop, this is what we're doing right now. So we definitely want to dedicate, this show to Prince Marky D.
Yes, rest in peace, Prince Marky D. Dang, it's crazy, man. It's just crazy.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
crazy. So
definitely.
you know, hey,
Mm-hmm.
before what's up? What's up, smart? What's up? Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Hold on. We good? You hear us good, smart?
Yeah, is my light too bright?
Nah, you looking good, brother. You
You
looking you
get
looking
it.
healthy. You looking
We're,
healthy.
we are live, my dear. We are live.
Oh yeah, we live too, smart.
Huh?
We live too, all right?
Okay, yeah, for sure, for sure.
We live, we live. All right. Well, before we know we didn't get to do it, so Samantha Lavelle, my co-host, this is the smart guy, Uptown Harlem in the building. So I just wanted to introduce y'all real fast before we go any further.
Yeah, nice to meet you officially.
For sure. Nice to meet you.
All
Nice
right,
to
so
meet you.
we're gonna get it right into it. We ain't gonna waste too much time, man. So first of all, thank you, smart guy, for coming on our show and gracing us with your presence. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to do this interview right now, brother, man.
Sure.
Right into it. Who is smart guy? Who are you? Where were you born, raised? What made you who you are, man?
Well, born in Harlem, but I pretty much spent my early days just everywhere. Brooklyn, Queens, just running around hustling. And I'm an artist, I'm a rapper, boxer, um, sometimes motivational speaker, a Muslim, and one of the most important things, I'm a survivor.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I was talking about this to Sam earlier. I didn't know your name. When I saw, I was like, oh, he must be Muslim, and that made sense where your
Mhm.
discipline comes from in some of the live videos I see you in, the way you move and your presence. That made sense to me.
For sure.
You know what I mean? But so you moved around, hustler. What makes you, as far as how you think, what makes you think the way you do? And what made you who you are today, as far as your mentality and why you think the way you think, as far as how you see the world?
Well, I think really just going through a lot early on, right? Like my mother being a drug addict, and I remember, not having a father around, not having nobody around. I remember pretty much being on my own and having to figure out things early on, like, how to eat, how to survive, how to deal with being left in an apartment um, by myself,
Wow.
and I think being under them circumstances forced me to mature faster, and I remember my mother going out
Mhm.
and being gone for like 2 weeks, and I'm having to figure out what I'm going
Yeah. Yeah. How old?
So I was about 5 years old.
Wow.
So, you know, being in that
My
situation,
God.
having like being faced with that problem at that age, and it kind of forced me to think differently. Like survival, me being in a situation where I had to survive at an early age, it kind of forced me to view life differently. And that kind of like cultivated my early mentality as a child.
Wow. That's deep because you said 5. That is not many people, no matter who you are, would have been able to deal with that at such a early age, but not knowing what the world has. You know what I'm saying? Especially with their mom. That's the key figure in the home. The mom, not to take anything from any dads or anything, but the mom is pivotal.
Right.
So
Sure.
that you get that salute to you, boy, man.
Yes, that's a survival story, in itself. Seriously.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And as far as that's not to dodge back too much in it, but as far as when you do, I may be skipping ahead, but it just brought me to that. Like,
Okay.
do you let people know that, like, when you do your motivational thing? Because I've seen you is that a part of it, as far as letting people know that no matter where you come from, what you go through, you can still make it. You can still be that person you want to be.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's always my opener. I'm proud to say
Ah,
I'm a crack baby. My mom's got high,
yeah.
I'm proud to say that I grew up under them circumstances because I think how I developed and how I turned out is proof that there is a God. It's proof that with prayer, with diligence, with resilience, you can become phenomenal. You can become successful. You can be educated. So yeah, I mean that's definitely part of my testimony and something that I rely on because I say all the time, when you feel overwhelmed, think about what you overcame. And sometimes when you feel overwhelmed, you can think about what other people overcame. And you
I
say,
like that.
so it's two parts to that, right? Like when you feel overwhelmed, think about what you overcame. That's personal. And then you say when you feel overwhelmed, think about what somebody else overcame. You can use somebody else's story and testimony as motivation for yourself. You say, well, damn, if this person's paralyzed, or if this person's paraplegic, or if this kid at 5 years old had to sneak into supermarkets and steal food and run out the supermarket just to eat, then I think I may have enough confidence to start this business or create this business plan.
That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes actual sense. And it's so it's so what the word it's almost a relief to hear that you're not afraid of your past. You know what I'm saying? You're not afraid of where you came from, because a lot of us don't know where we're going or where we are because we're scared to face the reality of what we came from, or how we were brought up. We're scared to face that. So that's a huge hurdle for a lot of us, and you to get over that is phenomenal, man.
Right. But not to cut you off, but to add on to what you're saying, look, let me tell you something. No matter how much I want to be somebody else, or no matter how much I want a different relationship with my parents, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned early on to find comfort in what I had to deal with and appreciate who I was, because if I know God doesn't create anything for no reason. So
Right.
the fact that I was breathing was proof or confirmation that my life served a purpose, even though I was too young or uninformed of what that purpose was. I'm alive. Life, it has purpose.
Yes, it does.
That is deep. That is deep. I like that. I mean, because we could talk about that the whole hour. All right. I mean, oh man. So let me just get what are your thoughts on influence of the state of the city, the country, the community, as far as the racism and as far as how we're being treated or how we're being perceived through the media or through some of our peers. You know, what are your thoughts on that? And what and to add like what do you think can be a kind of a solution, or what can be something that can move forward towards some kind of resolution?
Okay, well, all right. There's a couple things, right? It's a lot, but I'm going to try my best to answer that in a short, concise way. America is not a home; it's a hotel. Okay, America is a home; it's a hotel, and the problem is a lot of times African Americans, we view America as a home, right? America is a hotel. When you go visit a hotel, you don't say, "Oh, I'm going to change the paint. I'm going to redecorate, put these curtains up." No,
Mhm.
and your business, and then you leave. Other cultures like the Chinese, Indians, Jewish, Russians, they leverage America as a hotel, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Import, export. They make money here, and then they send that money back home.
Mm.
So I think African Americans, we have to change our expectations for what we think America, actually is. Another point to add to that is the Holocaust wasn't in America.
Right.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
The Holocaust wasn't in America. So Jewish people had to flee, right? They had to leave and
Yes.
come to America. And this is how they're able to thrive. So if our Holocaust was here, how
Mhm.
expectations to elevate over here? We would have to leave and go and grow and develop somewhere else. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, so let me go back to that point. America is not a home, it's a hotel. It's a
Right.
business, it's a temporary stay.
Mm.
Right.
Our home is Africa, our hotel is America. We make money, we get free, cheap education in America, and we utilize that as leverage to grow and scale Africa. Okay?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Now, another point which is important, there's companies in place, there's media companies in place created to perpetuate a self-destructive mentality in us as African Americans. Look at the NBA, right? I remember growing up, everybody wants to be Michael Jordan. The problem is you have about 2 million, you have between 2 million and 5 million black boys trying to apply for 40 jobs.
Yeah.
Listen. The NBA, there's only 29 teams in the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah. You make perfect sense, man.
You have 2 million, maybe even more, between 2 million and 5 million, maybe 10 million black boys trying to apply for 40 jobs. And we're not promoting how to write code. We're not promoting how to own businesses. We're not promoting to be lawyers and stockbrokers. We only got 2 options. Right?
You're right. Yeah.
We need institutions in place to push the agenda to search for more jobs. There's 100,000 job opportunities to write code. There's 500,000 job opportunities to be a lawyer or certified public accountant or certified financial analyst or a hedge fund manager, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we are what we do. So if you play basketball all day, you're going to be a great basketball player. If you write raps all day, you're going to be a decent rapper. So we have to make sure our elevation needs to be our recreation.
Oh, hold on. I love that. Our elevation needs to be our recreation. Now, I'll be real. I've never heard it put like that before. Yeah. Like the way you put it, as far as a hotel, and we could take what we learn here and go back to our home and cultivate that. Whoa, what'd you say? What was that? Oh, that was deep.
So we need to make our elevation needs to be our recreation. So the same way it's the same way it's cool for a kid to play PlayStation for 5 hours, because that's recreation, right? But that form of recreation doesn't elevate the child, doesn't elevate the family, and it doesn't elevate our culture. So we need to instill in the child that you need to have fun writing code. You need to have fun learning calculus. You need to have fun building things that you can monetize and sell. All right.
Yo, I don't know if you got a comment, but I'm just, that was a little mind blowing for me. Only the fact that the way how you put it, it makes sense. If we make, the recreation, then we have the next coders, the next new inventors, the next, not just the next NBA player, not just the next football player, the next lawyer, the next doctor that can really change things for our community. And you're the first person that I know personally that just put it into that type of language. It's a hotel.
Right. It's he's speaking facts, we need to elevate ourselves, make that our recreation. We have a responsibility to the youth. A lot of us are parents, so we need to uphold each other and our children as, kings and queens and, elevate, just like he was saying. There's a lot more that we need to do within our own community to really rise, to the occasion. So he's speaking facts.
Right. So, and again, that's why we need to be mindful of the location of the Holocaust. Okay, so Jewish people are not thriving in the roots, the location where the Holocaust was created. Jewish people are thriving more outside of that area. So our Holocaust was here.
Yeah.
So if we don't leave and flee, if we don't go somewhere else, we're not gonna reach our full potential. So because that elevation will be interrupted by institutional racism. Okay.
Right.
So we don't have institutions in place to perpetuate ideologies or ideas that will make us elevate as a people, as a whole, as a culture. Okay. And when we try to build these things like the Black Panthers, the BLA, Black Liberation Army, Black Wall Street, it gets interrupted by government over here. The colonizer, the conqueror, the oppressor. Okay? So an example of that is police brutality. And it's not police brutality, it's political brutality, because we don't have no lawmakers, we don't have no Black judges, we don't have no Black police departments, we don't have no institutions to enforce laws that benefit us. And then when politicians get in office, we don't have no institutions to hold these politicians that we voted in office accountable. So
that's true.
So presidents never pass any executive orders or any laws that benefit us because we don't have no power to enforce that change. And it's no institution created to enforce that change.
Right.
You see? So these are problems, but the solution to that is we have to leave the home of our Holocaust.
That is so true, bro. You know what's crazy? I'm talking to you like I feel like it was his show. I'm over here like I'm being interviewed. I'm looking at him like this, like
no, he's speaking facts. This is the same stuff I've kind of been saying. We have the systematic racism going on, and it really doesn't matter who's in the presidential office right now. You got the higher ups, and they have, all of those old laws and beliefs. The system. I'm sure you agree, Smart. It wasn't made for us. It wasn't. Yeah, so you're speaking facts. Keep on speaking. I'm in it. I'm in it.
I feel like everybody throws this term around so loosely. Systematic racism and the system. When they don't understand that institutions, the courthouse, right? The police department, right? The army, the Federal Reserve, all these institutions were created by our oppressors to keep us oppressed. So we don't create similar platforms, and if we don't own those platforms, we'll never truly be free or have the things that we feel we need to have. And we cannot get that through protesting. We have to get that through building, and it has to be uninterrupted building. And the only way to have uninterrupted building is not to start in America, but to actually start in Africa. So we have to build our institutions outside of the home of our Holocaust. So America is not a home, it's a hotel. The only way America is a home for us is the home of our Holocaust. It's the home of slavery. It's the home of our oppression. It's the home of our genocide.
Mm, mm,
Right?
You ain't
mm.
never lied. That makes sense. We got to get out of here.
Right? So,
Mm.
so you know, and it goes back to what we talked about, bro. All right, like people being fake woke, right?
Yeah, you take it. You oh, can I ask a question? Let me hold on. Let me segue that question in there.
Mhm.
But I know what I told you, Smart and Sam. Remember I said once we start rolling, the brother is just gonna come. This is what he does. That's how you know it's
Yeah,
real.
I
It's not.
respect
It's
it.
just this is what he does. And like, but like you said, we spoke like about the sleep. I call them sleepwalkers. Sleepwalkers, meaning they say they woke, but they really sleep.
Right.
So you was about to break that down. So do your thing, brother.
Okay. So, yeah. So just to piggyback off that, let me tell you something. Great podcasts, great shows, and great interviewers. They let their guests talk. So I think what you guys are doing is phenomenal because you're making me feel
Thank you.
comfortable, right? I don't feel nervous, and I feel like I can open up and just go, right? So
Yes.
I think
Thank you.
I think this is how people should be interviewed, right? But in terms of people being fake woke, there's a lot of uninformed people, and if you truly want to know what's going on, you have to take time to study, right? You have to read the Willie Lynch letter. You have to read the Jim Crow laws, right? You have to read about the Holocaust, right? You have to study what is political science, right? What is political science? What is an executive order, right? Understanding politics. So now when you take time to study, then you can be awakened and woke. And you're not getting your information from an Instagram post. You're not getting your information from something that is being circulated through the media virally, but that's being engineered and orchestrated, right? So I don't want to throw nobody under the bus. I would say if you have an interest in knowledge, if you have an interest in being truly woke, just take time to study. You know,
Study.
Mhm.
Makes sense. I gotta. Now I'm gonna throw something at you. Because a lot of us sometimes we do research, but we don't know what we're researching.
right?
We don't know where to research. So
Right.
Mhm.
for someone that if they woke up today, said they tuned in right now, like, yo, where do I start? What would be a good starting line? Where to start? What book or what author or what program? What video should they use? Or you know what I mean?
Meditation. Okay, so you have to be in the right frequency and vibration before you
Mhm.
consume information.
I
Mhm.
like that.
Mm.
So
That's deep.
as Black people, we have built-in compasses, right? We have built-in GPS. So the first thing you should do is ask yourself a question. I want to be knowledgeable. I want to be informed. And then you be still. You sit in meditation, and
Yes.
that thought turns into a vibration. That vibration becomes a magnet, and then you attract the true information that you're searching for. So
Right.
before you pick up a book, you have to open up your third eye, which is your pituitary gland. And the way to get to your third eye is through your subconscious mind. And how to open and activate your subconscious mind is by being in still meditation.
Wow.
Mhm.
That yeah.
Mhm.
Because we are the
I
fathers.
like that.
Listen,
I like that.
we are the fathers and mothers of information.
Right.
The black woman is wisdom. So
Yes.
all we have to do is turn our focus inward. Stop looking outside the window and start looking in the mirror.
Right.
Okay?
I agree.
We have to stop looking outside the window and start looking inside the mirror. And then we can start to remember and refresh and reinforce what we already know because we created it.
Mhm. 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 Yeah.
We like you said, we have to again find ourselves. We have
Mhm.
to, you know what I'm saying? You had a great point because we're in the time where we're looking outward for for everything external to please our internal hunger.
Right? Look, I'm gonna give you an example of that. Look, the farthest my education goes is 8th grade.
You know what's crazy? You would never know that. You would never know that talking to you.
I got a GED. I got a GED in prison. The farthest I went in school is 8th grade. Okay. So what does that tell you? That means that all I did was I tapped into higher self through meditation, and then through meditation, through prayer, through focus, through repetition, I started to unlock things inside of me that were created by my ancestors, were created by before I was even into existence. I was able to tap into that. I was able to download this stuff that's already there. It's available to all of us.
Wow. I don't know what happened to Samantha. Maybe her system, her connection. But yo, you are dropping jewels, Smart. And I'm so happy I got you on here, because you just going. It's so smooth. You going right into doing what you do, and I knew it was gonna be like that. That's why I'm so happy you took the time out to come on this minute and do what you do, man. Like, and you went from and while we on the go ahead, do your thing.
Let me say something, right? My time is designed for this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, we're here trying to solve problems that we're faced with as a collective, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, I got a lot going on. I got a lot I'm trying to do, but I feel like this is what we're supposed to do, right? We're supposed to have a meeting of the minds, right? Like, I'm not doing you a favor by making myself available, and you're not doing me a favor by giving me this opportunity. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to come together, peer to peer, brother to brother, sister to sister. We're supposed to make this time to build, so to say,
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right.
I appreciate you so much for even having me.
Nah, man, like I said, this is the reason I started even doing podcasts or whatever. This is because I'm like, we need to have more meetings of the minds with us men, our younger men, our older men, our young women, our sisters, mothers, because we have to be on the same frequency, as you said, in order to cultivate and build what we need to build for us.
Right, for sure.
We have to all be on one. And I said this earlier. I was like, my thing is that whenever we come together, however, we should get everybody, because some people have this, don't leave the drunk people, leave the crackhead. No, take everybody. Those are the ones we take first. Right. Those are the ones we get first and clean them up, because when we start this revolution, we can't have no weak links. Right. We can't have nobody where they could get and infiltrate and here go this bottle, here go this crack, or here go this whatever, and infiltrate like they did all up Malcolm X, everybody every leader, every party we had, they infiltrated us with our own people. Right. And I feel that it's because we keep leaving people behind. Oh, he's a drunk. We don't need him. No, we need him. He can be useful. He might be an accountant. He might, what I'm saying? We don't know what he's good at. Right.
But another thing too, to add to what you're saying, a lot of times, we're behind enemy lines. So, if you're trying to build a house in somebody else's backyard, you're already coming into a disadvantage. Right? So,
yep.
So, J. Edgar Hoover, the CIA, they was able to infiltrate the Black Panthers because we were building our home inside the hotel.
You're right. We like you said, the Jews didn't flourish when the Holocaust happened.
Right. So because there's this big misconception, like it's so easy to create Black structure. The only reason why we get infiltrated is because we're building behind enemy lines. So we're already coming in at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
And then we're not cultivating each individual mind for proper leadership, because victory loves preparation, right? Victory loves preparation. So you have to prepare properly for preparation. You have to prepare properly for victory. And in order to have leadership, you have to cultivate each leader individually, because each mind is going to be activated and stimulated differently. So if you raise the leader from a baby to be loyal to culture, if you raise the leader, whether male or female, from a baby, from an infant, right, to be loyal to culture, you won't have a Judas.
That makes sense.
You won't have a Judas, because you will engage the Judas mind before the snake engages the Judas mind. Right? So if Judas is a blank canvas. Judas is a blank canvas. It's just who's gonna paint on that canvas first. Okay? Judas is not a bad person. Judas is a blank canvas. And what we have to do is we have to paint on the blank minds of our leaders first. And you cannot do that behind enemy lines. You cannot build your home in another man's backyard. And you cannot build your revolution in the home, of course.
Whew. Boy, Jews are being dropped.
Yes.
What I like about this dialogue that we're having is that the language you're speaking in it is understandable. You can't build behind enemy lines. You can't build a house in another man's garden, because it's not going to be. It's only going to get but so far. And even I'm admit I've heard all those things, but not in the way you're doing it. The way the metaphors and the metaphors you're using, it kind of makes like, oh, you know what? How can we start something here when they oppressed us here? They have all the keys to everything.
Right.
So
History Month. Check this out. This is Black History Month, right?
Yeah.
They just put out a movie talking about Fred Hampton, right?
Yes.
And they highlighted the fact that we were faced with a Judas. This is Black History Month. They just made a commercial humiliating Black women selling Gorilla Glue. That was a marketing strategy.
Yes.
You see? So we have to understand, you know, we have to leave in order to grow. We gotta in order to grow.
You're right. It's like we're in a bad relationship. It's a bad marriage. And
Right.
we can't, if we stay in here, we're gonna go through the same thing repeatedly because we're still here.
Right.
So this is why we have to have these type of conversations, and then we have to start first with informing. And let me tell you something. There's no fear. You know, you have to have a strong relationship with God. You have to pray. No weapon. Let me tell you something. No weapon formed against us has ever prospered against us.
Right.
So once we truly believe that no weapon formed against us will prosper, then we will prosper.
Yep. That's true.
No weapon formed against us, because there's been millions of weapons formed against us. And none of those weapons were successful in eradicating and destroying and removing Black people off the face of this earth.
Right.
But we need as a whole, we need to believe in our invincibility. We need to believe in our power. We need to believe that no weapon formed against us will prosper. When you believe it, you change the vibration.
Yes.
You change the vibration, then you change the outcome.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah, and we got to take care of ourselves more. Like I noticed, you know, you there drinking water. Like, you know, I think with the food we eat, you know, what we intake in our bodies too. You know, I know you can touch on that too, because I know you. Yeah.
1,000,000%. You see, you know, America's job. America a long time ago, right? Look, this started with the Indians and the Pilgrims, right? You know, the Pilgrims is the reason why we have gates and fences around things. So the Indians believe whatever family mastered the crop when it was in season, that family controlled the field. So let's say if your family was good at cabbage, right? When it's time for the cabbage, you got the field. If my family was good at corn, when corn came, we got the field. In a little small area, like the size of this, was where they kept tobacco, right?
Right.
the Pilgrims realized that they could make money off tobacco, but tobacco messed up the soil. So that's why the Indians only grew it in a small location. Okay? Once the Pilgrims took over, they said, F this, we're going to expand the tobacco fields, but the crops suffered. So how is that relevant to today? America's job is to keep your medicine cabinet filled, right? They're not trying to sell you things that have high nutritional value. They're just trying to, make dollars, right? So early on in schools, we're taught, the pyramid of food. We're taught to drink milk, even though milk is not good for us. We're taught to eat dairy and poultry, even though those things are not good for us. We're taught that you need protein. You need protein, when in all actuality, we don't need protein. We're taught that, eat meat, when the organisms that live the longest on earth don't even eat meat.
Right. Right.
Right. So we have to start identifying with who is Dr. Sebi. Who is Dr. Sebi? What does it mean to have an alkaline diet? What does it mean to be a fruitarian? Not a vegan, because a vegan is high in sodium. Not a pescatarian, right? Like a fruit. What does it mean to be a fruitarian? And then
fruit. Ooh, that's the first time I heard that slang, that lingo. Fruitarian.
America stops the best foods from coming in. There's a ban on certain foods because if those foods came to America, we wouldn't need certain medications. So the pharmaceutical business works very hard to keep certain foods out of America. This is why, again, we cannot build our revolution in the home of our Holocaust.
Right.
Even the basic, they charge you for water.
Yo, I was just telling my lady about that. I said, why are we paying for natural resources that was already here? They was here. Why are we paying for that? Like, you hit it on the nail with that, man, because certain things that's in America are banned in other countries. American cheese, milk, all that, they don't even have that in other countries.
When you have suicidal bus drivers and suicidal plane pilots, right? This is what you have in terms of the leadership in America. Okay? You have people who are depressed in positions of power. You have people who are suicidal in positions of leadership. And their sole purpose is self-destruction. This is why we talked about the white man being the devil. Their sole purpose is anarchy. Their sole purpose is not to elevate, because to elevate, you have to do things a certain way. God is abundant. When you giving never diminish, right? It always increases. The earth will always replenish itself. We're not running out of anything. Famine is a lie. Famine is a lie. Poverty is a lie. It's an illusion. Because what you need to survive naturally grows and replenishes itself in abundance.
Talk that talk, Mark.
So again, to what the sister said about understanding about health and what to eat. Listen, we won't be able to get that information uninterrupted unless we leave here, because we're not going to be taught, and we can't even buy the thing. Not only do we don't know what to buy, but once you realize what you need to buy, you can't even purchase it here.
Nope.
Certain dates and certain figs, certain mangoes, certain avocados, certain cucumbers, certain aloe is not even allowed to come into America.
And that should tell us a lot. And that right there should tell us a lot. Like this.
If you travel out the country, they don't serve and sell the same foods.
Nope. You're right. It's completely different. I even was having a conversation with people, those little cutie oranges, like that's not even natural. Like that's not like a real orange, but we're consuming it.
Right? Yeah. Even cheese, and it's not the real cheese. America is not real cheese. Milk is banned outside of America, certain countries outside of, like he said, it's not nowhere to be found. So when I realized that, I said, yo, hold on, they killing us in front of our face.
Yeah.
They're selling us death every day. Here, take it. And on the flip side, putting a commercial on TV saying it helps you grow your bones. It's
Right.
good for your kids. It's good for this.
When actuality, what they're talking about is calcium.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get calcium. You can get calcium in pill form.
Yep.
Yes.
Right. So milk has bleach. Milk doesn't even hold no nutritional value at all.
Facts.
And what they tell you is in milk, what you should be drinking is the actual calcium.
Isn't that
True.
crazy?
It's true.
Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm. But we're just programmed, we're programmed. We got all those commercials, so it's a constant programming us, to conform to whatever they want us to.
Right.
Like you said, as long as we're here in the backyard of the oppressor, we're gonna be oppressed because they control all the keys to everything. That we can only, like you said, we can be running up the stairs, but they're at the top floor. So no matter, we don't even get but so far.
Watch this. Exactly. You will never win a race against somebody who has a 400-year head start. Look, think about it. Look, think about it. If we about to race, right? And so you say, okay, on your mark and set, go. And this person started the race 400 years ago.
You're done.
You won't beat somebody that got you ahead 10 blocks. You can't beat the race that got you. Listen, you trying to beat somebody in a 20-mile race, and they already got a 19-mile head start on you.
Yeah. It's a lose-lose.
And then they broke one of your legs, and they driving a Ferrari.
Yeah,
it's a lose-lose, man. It's a lose-lose on both sides.
We can never win. We can never win that race. So the reality is, you have to say, you know what? You're right. You're gonna always win that race here in America. So you know what? You can have the road. You can have the track. You can have the race. You can have the finish line. You can have that. I'm going over here, bro.
You know what? You know what's key to that, Smart?
Huh?
Not to cut you off. You know what's the key to that? That having the confidence to leave here. We have to unlearn what we learned.
Right, but it goes back to reinforcement. Now, what it is you have to reprogram the subconscious mind through repetitive thought. And you have to have consistent conversations like this on the platform that we own, so that content cannot be interrupted, blocked, or the Wi-Fi bandwidth can be interrupted, right? So repetitive. All it is repetition. Reprogramming starts with repetition.
Right.
So when we create, this is why this conversation is so pertinent and important, because when you have true knowledge and you put it out there consistently. They talked about this in the Willie Lynch letter. They said, we destroyed every avenue by which light can enter the mind of the slave. If we can only extinguish the slave's ability to see light, then the slaves would be on the same level as the beast in the field. We have extinguished every avenue. The avenue means the platforms. We don't own Instagram. We don't own YouTube. So they have extinguished, destroyed every avenue by which light can enter the mind. They cannot destroy the ability to see light, because the ability to see light is what God gave us, which is free will. That's the gift God gave us. We have free will. So we will never be blocked from seeing light. We will never be stopped from having the ability to wake up.
Yes.
Right? Never be robbed of that, because the devil cannot take that away from us. He can't take it away from me. He can't take it away from you. He cannot take away free will. That is God's gift that we have. So once we start indulging in our free will, then we will have success.
Right. We got to utilize that more, instead of just being set in these, these old ways and things like that. I've been saying it. I've been saying this, but it also starts with us educating each other and supporting one another too. We lack that too.
Yes, but we understand. We're empathetic. We're empathetic to the limitability that we have in form, in terms of teaching and sharing information. So now it starts with patience. It starts with empathy. It starts with therapy. It starts with conversations like this. It starts with uninterrupted information. And the people delivering the information have to be in the right vibration.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're in the right vibration, then now the message is being delivered how it's supposed to be delivered.
That's true.
You know, so again, you know, we talked about a lot of things. So, you know, I wanna drive home some key points.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, man.
We have to meditate more. We have to pray more. We have to get in our original vibration. And once we get back in our original vibration, okay, then we will attract the things we need to elevate and evolve. Homosexuality is not our original vibration. Drug use is getting high. It's not our original vibration. Gang banging is not our original vibration. The emasculated male is not our original vibration. The hyper-masculated woman is not our original vibration. A woman's role is wisdom and balance. A man's role is to be the protector, provider, maintainer, and sustainer. So when we get back in our original vibration, then we grow as a nation and as a whole.
Yo, this your show, man. This your show. I'm over here like a student right now. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm just watching, like, yo. I'm just like you said. This is a meeting. I'm sorry, Sam. A meeting of the minds. This is exactly what this is, man.
Yeah, and I'm a proud Black queen, just enjoying this with two of my kings here. You know what I'm saying?
This is beautiful. Yo, Small. We got like 15 minutes, so I want you to break down. You kind of broke down your relationship with God, your talent, and also the music, how that formed into your music and the passion you have for the music.
Yeah. What the music is, the same thing. How I got into music was crazy. Funny story. My grandmother, she had pneumonia, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they said she could have died, and I was really young, and she had tubes down her throat, and I couldn't speak to her, right? And so for some reason, I don't know why, I grabbed a pen and I wrote a letter to her, and I also wrote a poem, right? And once she got out of the hospital, she said the poem is what helped her heal. So,
wow.
So I felt I had superpowers. So I started writing more poems, and that eventually led to me, rapping, writing rhymes, and becoming an artist. Also, the music gave me a way to express how I felt and things that I couldn't talk about because I had nobody to talk to. So as I started to write and read back my raps and my lyrics, it almost became the voice of an imaginary friend that wasn't there. And I could write out these conversations and have these conversations with myself, and it helped me cope with the loss of not having love from a mother. It helped me cope with not having family or being alone in an apartment all by myself while my mother's out doing God knows what. But I'm just writing and talking to myself. And then I would draw food. I got to the point where I was so hungry, I would draw food and eat the paper.
Wow.
Man.
Paper.
Wow, that's deep.
So I mean, music really saved my life because it gave me a form of melodic therapy. It gave me a way to talk about myself. That's why when I rap, I got this song called Motherless Child, right? And I start off like this. Sometimes I feel, you can hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Every other week, you got a new man in the house. You got the nerve to point to him like he the man of the house. And they all want me to call him dad. They all wanted me to call him dad. I grew up confused. I got beats. I was black and blue. And you wonder why I'm in school, acting a fool, cutting class, picking fights, couldn't follow the rules. Free lunch won't cut it. I'm still hungry. I need food. I hooked up with Daryl, selling weed now, mama. I'm making moves. Yeah, mama, I'm making moves. You put a pins warming out, left me in the system. Plus, you ain't called back. That ain't love. What you call that? If you ain't want a son, mama, shit, you should have left me in that ball sack. Two sides to the story. I know, but I ain't having it. Too many demons inside I gotta battle with. Fuck whoever trying to play devil's advocate. Y'all don't understand how real this is. I was just a kid. I was only 5. Had to look my mama in the eyes, half sleep, half high. And you wonder why I'm outside, smoking weed, pistol in my pocket, throwing up gang signs. You a junkie, mama. How you gonna demand respect? I guess you beat me because I look like the man that left. A stick, my daddy, huh? That's why you slap me? Can nothing please you? You ain't never happy? Straight A's on report cards, getting ripped. Christmas, birthdays, I ain't get shit. Every man I see you with call you bitch. And this is what I deal with? Yeah, this is what I deal with. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. It feels like God cursed me and my brothers. Because all I do is suffer. And the pain came from my mother. A rose won't grow from this concrete. Roots getting pulled out. Petals getting stepped on. You came home high. Beat me half to death. You said that I slept wrong. Bloody tampons. Empty bottles of liquor. Cracked valves on the same bed I slept on. How the fuck could I sleep wrong? You got me laying on the bed I could barely even sleep on.
Woo, Lord, have mercy. Okay, see.
So the music, it gave me this weight. It gave me this. I needed to, I couldn't hold. I was going crazy. I couldn't hold all those emotions in. So as a child, I'm dealing with that, but I'm writing it out. In a way, it left me through the pen. It went from my heart. My pain left my heart, traveled through my arm, traveled down my arm, went through my hand, went through the pen, and it went on the page.
And I just felt all of that. Seriously. I just seriously tapped in and felt that whole, that was deep poetry right here that we're witnessing in motion. I'm damn near damn.
Man, he giving us that medicine. You know what's crazy about that? Just the other day I saw you perform that on the I don't know, it was in the vestibule or something. I don't know where it was, but you had it was a setting you did the same thing, and it's crazy because I got the same feeling I got now when I heard it that day.
Yeah, I mean, because shit, you know what I mean? But what I would say is, to all the mothers out there, it may be hard, but don't give up on loving your child.
That's right.
Because you don't know how amazing. Let me tell you something. You don't know how amazing that child could turn out. Look at me without no parents. So imagine if I would have had parents, right? There's so many children that get aborted. There's so many children that get left in the system. There's so many children that get murdered, abused, kidnapped, raped, everything. Mothers, even fathers. We gotta appreciate. You gotta appreciate. Give that love. Let me tell you something. My mother wanted to be with my father, right? And when I was born, my father started a whole new family, and he was getting married, and my mother took hard to it, right? So she came with me and her arms to the wedding, like some dramatic movie shit. Like, yo, she wanted to be with my father, and he denounced us at the wedding.
Oh my God!
And my mother went crazy, took it out on me because she felt like if I hurt him, then maybe I'm hurting. If I hurt the child, then maybe I'm hurting the father. Right? But love is the only healer. Love heals and conquers everything. So if my mother would have learned to love me, then the pain she felt from losing my father would have been replaced by the love I gave her. I can't, a child can't give a mother a father's love, but a child can give a mother love way more powerful than a husband. Just like a woman can't give a man the love from a mother. A woman can give a man a woman's love, which is just as powerful.
Yes.
Right? Love is so important. It's so important. It's such, it's so important. And I'm so deeply connected to music. That's not a rap. That's not a poem. That's my life. That's my demons. That's what I went through. I was 5, looking my mother in the eye. She locked me in the closet to go out and get high. She had different boyfriends, and they all wanted to make me their son. Yo, yeah, call me dad. and they had this ego shit where it's like they all wanted me to call them. So I'm growing up confused.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to school. I want to fight everybody. This is my life. This is not no rap. That's not no song. That's what I went through.
Mm-hmm. That's
Those
real.
are my demons that I just gave a melody to.
Yeah, I felt it.
Those
I
the
felt
monsters.
it.
Those the monsters. Those the monsters. I pulled the monsters. I pulled the monsters from under my bed and made them motherfuckers dance.
You did.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
Beat, and I said, y'all going to dance. I took the demons that was attacking me, scratching me, and fighting me, and I put melody, and I made them bob their head and nod and leave me the fuck alone.
Yo, oh damn! So we got about 3 minutes. Yo, I'm gonna front. We gotta do a part 2 of this. We have to
Yes.
do a part 2 because there's so much more you have to offer and say. And I'm intrigued. I'm pretty sure
Wow.
Sam is intrigued because my ears are open.
Yeah, this
So
was
this
extremely
is
powerful.
extremely so. Before we go, I just want to make sure you get to get everything out. Talk about a little bit about your fight for like a minute and a half, about the fight you got coming up and all of that, and then give your handle, and then Sam, you could give your outing, and we chop it from there.
Oh yeah, for sure. So my first pro fight is going to be late May, early June. We're trying to be the promoters, my business partners for the boxing. We're just trying to wait to see how COVID is, because some places is letting people fight with crowds. Some places are not. So we're just trying to in terms of picking the venue. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I
you.
can.
Yeah. So it's going to be late May. No later than June 5th. Because we had something locked in for May 18th with no crowd. But the promoters said we might be able to actually have an actual crowd, because COVID is changing every day, especially with sports. So I'm excited about my first pro fight. I'm fighting at cruiserweight. I'll be weighing in at 190 right now. I'm 205, but fight night I'll be 198, fighting my first pro fight as a cruiserweight.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Be real fast before you end this, Sam. I just want to again, thanks a lot, Smart. Thanks for your knowledge, and we definitely gonna set up a part 2. I swear this is one of my best interviews because I was so intrigued and to every word you were saying. I'm like this hooked. I'm on the bait like this. Okay, I'm in. So
Yeah.
I just want to thank you for dropping knowledge and just also educating, because that's what it's about.
Right, for sure. And I want to say this, man. We educate each other, right? I wouldn't be this informed without brothers like you and we really are, and man, I'm so happy to have new friends and expanding my network of just positivity and having good people like you guys around. I love what you guys are doing, and I feel like every time somebody comes on the show to be interviewed, it's always good to have that person be uninterrupted, because they can just open up and flow.
Exactly.
A lot of times when people do interviews, they wanna shine and out talk the person, but you interviewing the person.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, have your own. Yeah. And again, I get you trying to have your own show with no guests, where you just talk about what you talk about. But
right.
If you bring on a guest, it should be like this. Because you guys made me feel at home. You made me feel comfortable. And I was able to open up because of, the energy and how you guys make me feel. And
like you said, the vibration.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
You got 30 seconds, Sam. Do your thing. Take us out.
Oh, yeah. So, I appreciate you for coming on, Smart Guy. I'm going to continue to, tap in, share your music. I don't know if you noticed, but I did. I've been doing that. So much love and respect to you. We're going to do a part 2. We are going to stay in contact. This was just a very beautiful, powerful interview. This is what we need. It's just showing us brothers and sisters coming together on Black History Month. We get the short month, but you know what? We're going to be strong and just keep on doing this. So I really appreciate it. It's only right. Smart Guy. This is Samantha Lavelle. We done for now, but part 2 is definitely coming up really soon. And we're out.
Broadcast. End the broadcast.